In this video, we're going to be going over AI for everyone, and this is our part 8 video inside of this series. And specifically inside of this video, we're going to look at the workflow of a data science project. So let's get started with this video. So for the workflow of a data science project, the example that we're going to take is a manufacturing line. And the item that we're manufacturing is a coffee mug, or you can just say a cup. So how can we optimize this manufacturing line so that there's less chance for errors? So as we can see inside this picture, there's a few different steps that you do to manufacture this coffee cup. So the first step is to actually mix the clay. The second step is to shape the mug. Then you add some glaze to the mug. Then you have to fire it inside of a kiln, and then you have to inspect it. So how can we actually optimize this manufacturing line so that there's a less chance for errors, such as cracks in the cup, or such as other things that may go wrong? So we're going to cover over some key steps inside of this project in order to optimize this so that we get less errors inside of the cup. So the first key step that we have is to collect data. So as you can see here inside of this table, we're collecting every single data that there is for the coffee mug. So for example, we're taking the clay batch number, we're taking the supplier, we're taking the mixing time in minutes, we're taking the mug batch, we're taking the humidity, we're taking the temperature in the kiln, and we're also taking the duration inside of the kiln in hours. So the first step is just to collect all the data that you're using inside of the manufacturing so that later on we can actually analyze it and then we can determine which one does the best. So this was step number 1, which is to collect the data about everything that you're doing inside of the manufacturing line. And now for step number 2, we're going to analyze the data. So based on whatever we got from the data that we had for step number 1, for step number 2, we're just going to analyze that data. So the data science team will then analyze this data to identify factors that affects the yield and quality of the coffee mugs. So for example, they might discover that low humidity and high temperature kiln leads to cracks inside of the mugs, and this phase involves multiple iterations to refine the insights. So in step number 2, we gather up a data science team and then they just analyze all the data. So in summary, basically we gather up a data science team and then we make them analyze the data, and then they analyze what goes wrong, and then they'll have a pretty good idea. So this is step number 2, which is to analyze the data. Now for step number 3, we have to suggest a hypothesis and also actions. So based on the analysis, the team will then suggest actionable insights, and this could create changes in the clay mixture or adjustments to the kiln temperature and humidity levels to improve the yield and quality of the mugs. So if we look at the picture on the right, what we have to do for step number 3 is to suggest a hypothesis. So let's just say that the data science team figured out that whenever the kiln temperature was high, then the coffee mugs ended up getting cracks, like this one. So the kiln temperature was high, then these coffee mugs started getting cracks. So then what they suggest is to keep the kiln temperature lower. So this is what step number 3 is. We have to suggest a hypothesis, and finally for step number 4, we have to iterate. And the visual on the right showcases a circular flowchart highlighting the continuous iterative process involved in refining the manufacturing of coffee mugs. And then the steps included are implementing changes, collecting new data, and analyzing to further refine the process. So for step number 4, all we're doing is iterating. So we have to keep on looking through them all the steps, and then we kept on refining every time that we go through all the steps. For example, we collect the new data, then we analyze it, then we refine it, and again we have to analyze that data and then refine it again. Then we can implement changes, and we implement more changes, and it just goes inside of a circular loop until we finally get the result that we need. So this summarizes step number 4, which is the iterative process. And finally, now we're going to talk about the difference between data science and also machine learning projects. So in our previous part video, we looked at what machine learning projects look like. So let's just see the difference between the data science and also machine learning. So the first thing we're going to cover is the objective. So inside of the data science project, to generate actionable insights that can drive decision making. So inside of data science, this is the objective, and inside of machine learning, the objective is to build a model that can make predictions or automate decision making. So that is the objective. For the next one, we have the output, and inside of data science, we have outputs of insights, visualizations, then recommendations, and inside of machine learning, we have the trained model and also the prediction algorithm. Then for the iterative process for the data science, it's an ongoing collection and analysis to refine insights. And then for the machine learning, there is an iterative model training and validation until satisfactory performance is met. For user involvement in data science is really high because insights often require domain expertise for interpretations and implementations, such as you need a data science team, so you need multiple different people. That is the user involvement. And for the machine learning, it's low to moderate because once the model is deployed, then it can operate without minimal input, or maybe it needs some fixes from time to time, so it's really minimum inside of the machine learning compared to the data science. And finally, the tools used in data science can be SQL, Python, R, Excel, and some more. And inside of machine learning, it's Python, R, TensorFlow, PyTorch, and there's many more as well. So these are the differences between data science and machine learning. And now we're going to go into a conclusion for this video. So in this video, we learned the key steps inside of a data science project, and we know that they are data collection as number one. The second one is data analysis. The third one is suggesting hypotheses and actions. And finally, the last one is the iterative refinement. And after all of these are done, then we're going to have a pretty solid idea of what things work and what things do not work, so we can keep on creating and manufacturing the things in such a way that it will always be accurate in terms of our design. So that summarizes everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching from Try to Be Useful, and we'll see you guys in our next video.